Hello everyone, welcome back to the Yours Mine Away podcast with me, Mark Howard. Delighted to have him in. Please welcome Jonathon Bond, Watford Goalkeeper.
I love the game. I'm obsessed with football. So I used to play all the different positions. But then I think my dad probably recognised that I was more naturally talented in goal.
You've scored a goal.
I have scored a goal, but I'm not sure that counts.
An international goal as well.
Any 21-year-old going to play every week in the Championships, obviously, is a big ask. Difficult thing to do.
If Carlsberg did transfers. So obviously, you moved to LA Galaxy.
So I had this American passport, but I felt like no one knew about it. Something I bring up every now and then is like, I've got this sort of American passport. Like, does that mean that I can sort of go and play in America? Never really got much back from anyone. I don't think anyone checked. When I then signed with Rich as my agent, he actually went and asked the question. My first week of training, the ball flies different. The ball is different. The ball flies different. The pitch is completely dry.
What a save from Mark Howard.
Hi guys, I'm thrilled to share something with you today. The Mito Pro 300 from Mito Red Light Therapy. Been a game changer. As an athlete, I know the importance of peak performance and recovery, and that's why I rely on the Mito Pro 300 for its unparalleled benefits. Let's dive in to what makes the Mito Pro 300 remarkable. First off, it's all about power, and this device offers 300 red and near-infrared light benefits. These wavelengths penetrate deep into your cells, helping to jumpstart the natural process of recovery and rejuvenation. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about results. The Mito Pro 300 is designed for maximum efficiency. It emits light evenly and directly onto your body, ensuring every inch benefits from this therapeutic light. You might be thinking, why should I choose the Mito Pro 300? Simple, it's a game changer in the world of light therapy. The award-winning quad wavelength design, updated with remote control technology. Toggle up and down on the timer, reset unit settings, and operate multiple units with the same remote. If you're dealing with the aches and pains of an active lifestyle, or simply someone looking to improve your overall well-being, the Mito Pro 300 is your solution, and it's versatile. Use it for targeted spot treatments or full body therapy sessions. The choice is yours and the benefits are undeniable. Plus it's easy to use. Just plug it in, set your treatment time and relax. There's no steep learning curve, no complications. With the Mito Pro 300, you're not just investing in a device. You're investing in your health, your well-being and your performance. Don't wait. Discover the incredible benefits of the Mito Pro 300 for yourself. Visit mitoredlight.com and take the first step towards a better you. Hit the link in the description below. Now let's dive back into this episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Yours Mine Away podcast with me, Mark Howard. Today I've got a top guest, a top goalie in, with some unbelievable experiences of one I really want to talk about. Obviously delighted to have him in. Please welcome Jonathon Bond, Watford Goalkeeper.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, mate. Obviously we've been speaking for a little while since you moved back to the UK. Obviously delighted to have you in. How's things been since you moved back?
It's strange kind of adjusting back to a club that I started up and grew up at, but yeah, I've been settled in pretty quickly and family settled in, so it's been good.
Yeah, a nice little full circle moment coming back to the club where you came through at.
Yeah, it was honestly weird kind of walking down the same halls and stuff. There's a few people that have been there for over a decade now, so it was about 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
But it's good to see old faces and just be back in, but yeah, like you said, it was a good experience as well out in America. Yeah,
right, I will get onto that in a bit. Right, before we crack this off, I've got a couple of quick fire questions.
Yep.
So, favourite goalkeeper kit colour?
Black.
Yes, nice choice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Dark green.
Really? Yeah.
Like the old
traditional.
traditional emerald, like is it emerald green you'd call it? Forest green?
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that like that era of goalkeeper, they always wore a dark kit and blended into
I remember Ed De Hoy used to wear a dark green kit for Chelsea. I used to like.
Yeah. I grew up as a kid like loving the fluorescent ones.
Did you?
Like the Campos from Mexico.
Yeah.
Good kits. But
I heard that name a lot actually out in.
I bet you did. Yeah,
they loved him.
Yeah. We got a huge. LA Galaxy has a huge Mexican fan base as well, don't they?
Yeah.
A lot of Mexican players as well.
Yeah.
All right. Play it short or kick it long. This has changed.
It's play it short for me.
It is now or always has been?
No, honestly, it always has been. Yeah. Probably because I can't kick it far enough is why I want to play it short. But Yeah, I don't know, just the way the game's gone, and I enjoy it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure and stuff, and the Championship's probably not the easiest league to try and do it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say play it short, just.
Yeah, my answer for that is always whatever the manager tells me to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, who is your goalkeeping inspiration?
It was Cudicini.
Oh, great.
Carlo
choice.
Cudicini, yeah.
Goalie, man.
So, yeah, my dad was a massive Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
Obviously, then I didn't have a choice. So we used to go every week, and Cudicini was in goal. Just fell in love, yeah. He was the...
Oozed class, didn't he, and charisma as well. Even we played against him in pre-season, and he's... I don't even know what his job is now. He oversees the goalkeepers or something. Yeah, they've got goalkeepers for days. And
I know.
He just looked brilliant.
Yeah, he just used to do, like, just wow things, like make amazing saves. Very agile, very calm.
One of the best top hand savers of the ball, I think.
Yeah. That's
Just
right.
turned
He wasn't the
everything
biggest
to-
either,
no,
was he?
no.
He was so
mad
agile.
spring, didn't he?
Yeah, he was brilliant. I loved Cudicini.
Who's the best goalkeeper in the world right now?
Courtois.
Yeah,
Obviously, he had a big injury.
Yes.
But just everything.
The saves that he makes, especially in big games.
Yeah. Just for the way that he takes crosses is just...
Effortless.
Effortless is the word, yeah. It's just unbelievable. And then obviously his saves, And he's decent with his feet as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things about his game that people don't really realise. That he's actually good at passing the ball out.
I agree.
And comfortable as well.
Yeah. I love Alisson as well. Love Alisson.
Yeah.
Courtois just,
Yeah, nice. Are you a long sleeve shirt or a short sleeve shirt?
I used to be long sleeve, and now I'm short sleeve with like an Under Armour
Everyone's this
underneath.
way,
Yeah, why has that gone like that? I don't know.
Because we train like that.
Yeah, that's right. But in the winter you put a jumper on and stuff. No, long sleeve.
I think most goalkeepers still train, even if I like a long for training. I like a long sleeve Under Armour and a wet top, but I cut sleeves off.
Oh, you cut the sleeves away? Yeah, classic. Yeah,
for winter. But so in the summer, I'll still wear long sleeve, and so I think a lot of keepers now have realised that it's like train like you play. So there's not many that wear trousers anymore.
No, I know. Yeah.
But that used to be a thing, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Now you say
obviously,
it,
everyone now wears the typical leggings to protect your legs, but that's kind of like a second skin anyway.
You mean in the games or in training?
In training as well. Not
but
many
in the
people do
games, like Alisson, Edison, people like that.
Yeah,
even wear the skins.
They even wear the skins. But I'd literally think that we're all changing because it's a train how you play now.
Yeah.
And obviously the importance that managers especially are putting on training and making sure it's done properly.
Yeah.
You're like, why would you not take what you're doing in a game?
Yeah.
And I think that, apart from shin pads,
you can't
do not wear shin pads in training. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Favourite stadium you've played at?
Played at obviously some good grounds in England.
That's why I like asking this question.
Yeah. But the one that was kind of like special was out in LA. It was the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
So it was quite a famous stadium, not just for footballing reasons.
Had Super
for all
Bowls.
kinds. Super Bowls. There's a World Cup final was played there.
Yeah.
It's obviously like a really, really old stadium.
Who plays there?
UCLA play there. So there's not like a professional team that plays there. But UCLA, the college, play there. And we played Galaxy against LAFC, so like derby. In that stadium, it was like 90,000 or 95,000, something like that. It was like a record for the league. Yeah. And it was unbelievable. Yeah. And it's just, you can feel it. It's like it is a historic stadium.
The sport in America is done differently, and especially the feel of the stadiums is a lot more of a party atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. It's entertainment. Yeah. Most of the time. They're obviously, if you go to a MLS game, there are like the fanatical fans behind the goal that are singing all the time. But for the average fan that might go, it's like a chilled, relaxed experience.
The chants in America are some of the best and worst.
I know.
Let's go goalie! Like, it's mental. It's so funny though.
Yeah, no.
I think because we're so accustomed to being sworn at.
Yeah.
But I know the goalkeepers are very positive. Like, they're positive towards their goalkeepers, aren't they?
It is. There's a mix of, obviously you've got the South American influence can be very critical. Yeah. So that you can, if you lose a game or if you start getting, it can get a little bit like that. But then the American sort of positivity comes through. You're always kind of like next one. Yeah. And I like it, to be honest. It is good.
I love the way they treat goalkeepers out there. I do enjoy it.
They love a save from a goalie as well. It's put everywhere on a highlights thing. They love it.
I did one in I played in that TST tournament in America, which is an unbelievable little 7-a-side tournament. I saved one with my foot. It made me do a roly-poly, and they've literally, it went all over like ESPN, and it was like Howard with the kick save, and you're like,
yeah, they love
literally
that
just blocked with my leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I do love the way that they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right, last one is a last-minute penalty save to win the game, or you can go up and score a goal.
Last minute penalty save. Yeah, I mean, scoring a goal is obviously unbelievable, but I'm a goalkeeper, so
I'd want
I'd
to score a
say
goal.
penalty save. Would you say goal?
100%.
Yeah.
How many chances do you get? If someone's giving you one on a plate, you can go and score the winner.
Yeah, it's true.
Build
I did
my
score one
statue
for
now.
like Wales under 17s.
I'm going to get onto this.
Yeah,
You've scored a goal.
I have scored a goal, but I'm not sure that counts.
An
is it?
international goal as well.
Under 17s, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's an international goal.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, it counts. I
We'll
suppose,
talk
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk goalkeeping then. Right, so why are you a goalkeeper?
Oh, I love the game. Like, I'm obsessed with football. So I used to play all the different positions. But then I think my dad probably recognised that I was more naturally talented in goal. I was also tall. I enjoyed it. Like I was saying about the Cudicini thing, like I enjoyed watching Cudicini before really I was like a nailed on goalkeeper. So yeah, just even when I got scouted and then did a trial at Watford, I was just copying what Cudicini was doing.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was just sort of copying what I saw goalies do. But yeah, obviously from a professional point of view, I don't know, I've sort of tried to learn to enjoy like the pressure that comes with being a goalkeeper at kind of a higher level. But it's a good question because sometimes you are asking yourself, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah. And that's what I love, like speaking to other goalies about and making us feel a bit more special because we are a different breed.
Yeah.
It's a different sport.
Isn't it?
It's a sport within a sport, and my favourite way of analysing goalkeeper is we're the villains of football, and like no one ever goes to a game to watch two good goalkeepers have a great game. It finished 0-0.
No, that's so true. Yeah, so true.
So you have to understand the psychology of what it takes to go to a game and be the villain every week. But we absolutely love it.
And the thing is it's like you can have 89 minutes of being brilliant, and the last minute can all go wrong.
Yeah.
But for a striker, you can have 89 minutes of it being terrible, and you score the winner, and everyone just remembers you as a hero.
But even throughout your career, you could be David Seaman, and if anyone says, what do you remember most about David Seaman?
Ronaldinho.
They're going to say Ronaldinho. They're not going to remember his save against Sheffield United as the first.
I remember it.
Yeah, but like that should be the first thing that we celebrate, but we don't. We're a negative influence on our goalkeeper because we do look at them and think that they've cost us a game.
I know.
Instead of won us a game.
And like managers, players, they don't fully understand goalkeeping, so you're always having to kind of deal with that and people's opinions of what you might have, like could have done this, should have done that, and you're trying to fit in within obviously that footballing, like what everyone else does. But like you said, it is sort of a sport within a sport.
Yeah.
And the conversation you'll have with your goalkeeper coach about what you might have done is going to be very different usually.
My biggest pet peeve about being a goalie is when you're not playing, or if like you're the coach and you're on the bench, and the manager or another player turns around to you and says, "What's he done there?" You're like, "Oh my! How do you even answer this? Where do you begin to?"
I didn't see it. It was
that's
someone in the way.
The whole time you're like, "Oh, I didn't really see that."
Need to see it again.
He might have had someone in his way, or like, and you're like deflecting because you're like, I can't make a decision either way here. There's no right or wrong.
No, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, it's not nice.
That is an awkward one. Yeah.
Let's go back to the very start then, from when you first started playing in goal.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you first ever put a pair of gloves on? Normally it's like a brother.
Oh, right. Okay. It was because my Sunday league team, goalie, I don't know what happened to him, but he decided he wasn't going to play anymore. So we needed a goalie. And the manager of the team, I don't know how this came about, but he was basically put me on a mini trial in his garden about like whether I'm good enough. And I was decent in the back garden.
Yeah.
And then I was playing. And I think I only played like 3 or 4 games. And then, suddenly I was on trial.
That's incredible how quickly stuff like that. Obviously, I had Jamal Blackman on, and he said it was very similar, that he didn't want to play in goal. And then all of a sudden he played in goal, and then within 3 months of time for Chelsea.
Yeah, that is mad.
Obviously the fast trackness and not, especially at that age, I have a lot of messages now about do goalkeepers need individualised training, even if it's for under 10s, and you're like, it's so important to start to develop the skills and understanding of the job. Mm-hmm. So I would say yes, 100%. But when you hear stories of people that
I know Matt Turner as well was another one,
been outfielders for their majority of their youth career, and then went in goal for a few games or a couple of training sessions, and then they get scouted, you're like, probably don't need to do any of that, just go and play football.
Yeah. I honestly loved playing outfield. Like, I'm sure most goalies did.
Yeah.
But like, whenever there was a school game or something, I didn't want to play in goal.
Important
I
game,
wanted
isn't
to
it,
just
going
play.
goal, yeah.
Oh yeah, if it's a really important game, I'd go in goal. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to play in goal. I just wanted to run around and play football. But I started quite young. Like, that story I told you was when I was 10.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few that kind of pick it up at 17, 18 or something, and I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, but I honestly think that the earlier that you can start as a goalkeeper and individualise yourself, that's the ones that get scouted. I got scouted at 9. Like, you do hear of the younger they started, the quicker they got scouted.
Yeah, there's pre-academies now, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Well, maybe there always were, but
I don't remember stuff
no,
like that.
I don't remember 6-year-olds going into academies, but now.
And like, I only ever played like Sunday League and Croydon Athletic, Croydon Borough and County, and then the more important the games were, I'd play in goal, but I'd always play outfield, and then the more important the games were, the more scouts were at the games. And because you were different and you could do that job, there weren't many about when I was coming through that would play in goal and do it well. So I think I got scouted quicker from that. And you probably was the same, where at 10 years old, there ain't a really large range to sign, is there, for a club like Watford?
Yeah, and if you've got some level of athleticism or something at that age, then you've got a chance, I think.
Yeah.
But obviously, from 9 to go all the way through,
It's
like
incredible,
you did, that is a difficult journey to make it through.
Yeah.
And get a professional deal, blah blah blah.
Well, you've ended up doing that at Watford as well. So like,
Watford. Yeah.
So like the journey that you've had, that's what I like talking about, is the journey of how getting scouted to getting signed, and then to realising, no, this could be a potential job. It's a total, like, it's like a mind's, like, you changed, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, like, at 16 you leave school. That was an exciting time. Didn't have to go to school. Didn't really enjoy school that much. But go play football full time, and even when you're a scholar, you get paid literally. It was like
85 quid a week or something.
It was £90 a week. And just to see that first thing, like paycheck, come in, that was a moment of realisation. It was like, no way, I'm actually getting real money to dive around after this sphere, basically. Yeah. That was a moment where it kind of sunk in. But obviously at 16, still such a long way to go. But yeah, it does flip it a little bit when you start playing for money.
Yeah. So I reckon mine was a little bit earlier. I think that because I played outfield for, like I say, in school, borough, county, I was still playing outfield. And then I'd play Sunday League and Interleague. So I played outfield for all these, but then I would play on a Saturday morning for Arsenal as a goalkeeper. So I always thought that was my job and everything else was fun.
So you were playing outfield at that age?
At like 14, 15. Yeah, but like, I'd be playing for Arsenal on a Saturday morning, but still be playing outfield for other teams.
Really?
But they let me do that at that time. So they knew I was developing my skills of playing out and my knowledge of the game. So I would go training 4 nights a week with them, but 2 nights of the week I wouldn't. When I trained with the outfielders with Arsenal, I wouldn't take my gloves on purpose.
Really?
Because I only ever went there to learn how to play football and have better understanding. So, but every time I went and took my gloves with the outfielders,
you had to go and go.
I had to go and go on, and we did shooting drills for an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great for you, but not for me. And then, so I would then go to my goalkeeper sessions the other 2 nights of the week and do goalkeeping work. Yeah. So I distinguished, like, it was like 2 separate things.
Yeah.
But then, like you're saying, once you then get to your careers advisor in school, and I didn't enjoy school loads either, but when they were like, what are you going to do? You're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play football now. I've got it. My mind is set. I think that's the moment. And then like the first pay packet comes in, and you can't wait to go to JD or something.
Can't remember where I went with that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing though. Like you're saying, like the pay packet, and you're like, no, this is a job now. Better start treating it like a job and working harder to get better and start your journey. Was Watford a great club for that?
It was. They're a community club, and they've always had like a strong academy or like good reputation in the academy. We were one of the first clubs to do. So they basically partnered with a college, Harefield College, and basically you would go to school, but instead of doing a couple of subjects, it would be football instead. So you kind of got the hours in.
Yeah.
Training, I think they got it from like Holland or like, I don't know, they do in Ajax or something like that. But also within the first team, they were kind of struggling for money a little bit. So once you got in as like a scholar or a first year pro, you were involved with the first team very early, and then we got opportunities reasonably quickly because the squad wasn't massive and we were trying to survive.
It's not the Watford that's now the Watford that we know.
Yeah, it was very different. It was like
the foreign owners and stuff like that.
Malky Mackay, Sean Dyche, it was that kind of era. Yeah, but no, it was a good club to come through.
Yeah. I know a few of the players that came through that. Well, not came through, but Stephen McGinn was one of my...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Guinea. I played with him in Scotland. But yeah, like I was saying, at that time, Watford wasn't the club that it is now.
No, completely different.
Yeah, so it must have been a lot more grounding there and a lot of a harder place because it wasn't as attractive football, although Malky did get the team playing really good football.
He did, yeah. It was... Malky did have... I think we finished sort of...
Did really
not
well.
Far off out of the playoffs at one stage.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like your traditional English football club.
Yeah.
Before Gino bought the club, it was old school. It was cleaning boots in the mornings. It was probably all the same stuff that you did.
Yep.
I don't know if you did that at Arsenal, did you? Arsenal might have been a bit different.
We were only allowed to. We had an equipment manager. We weren't. We had to obviously clean our own boots and stuff. We weren't allowed to clean first team players' boots. We had, so
you didn't get paid at Christmas. And
no,
stuff?
nothing like that. We didn't get Christmas bonuses, but I think it's because of we moved to the new training ground my first year, obviously next door to Watford's, and Arsene Wenger then had this new training ground built, and he didn't want to leave anything to chance. Mm-hmm. So whether it was us not pumping up the balls correctly, he had an equipment manager. So he wanted everything to be the best it could be.
So this came from Wenger, really?
Yeah, it was all Wenger's era, which was obviously, you say that we didn't have any jobs. Obviously, we had responsibilities around the training ground and we had to make sure all the mannequins went to the right pitches, but we weren't allowed to do the vital stuff like wash boots or pump the balls up because obviously Wenger wanted them to be the best.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. No, we were the opposite.
Yeah,
we were like pumping every ball. I think some of the boys were even doing laundry, cleaning the boots. But the thing about cleaning the boots was clean them in a sink outside. So it was like the water was frozen.
Yeah.
It was like
in those metal bucket sinks. I remember them, yeah.
Oh my God. You're like cleaning it with ice, basically, snow off the ground.
Don't get the dirt off either, does it?
No. You're just putting a bit of dubbing in at the end and hoping that the first team player doesn't say anything. But you did get a bonus at Christmas, which was nice. Scott Loach was I cleaned his boots. I'm sure he'll tell you I didn't do a great job, but he always gave me a good bonus.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed doing that with. Yeah, it brought us closer, I think.
I would say it's more for camaraderie for the young players coming through, and it's also a discipline, isn't it?
It is, yeah. A massive is that sort of element of almost military kind of discipline, isn't it? But I mean, I didn't think it was necessarily like an amazing thing. Didn't think it was a bad thing. It just is what it was.
Because it's changed now. Then there's no jobs, no responsibilities. Yeah. You're not even allowed to tell the youth team off if they've got dirty boots themselves.
Really, yeah.
Oh, it's totally changed, but that's just the evolution of football.
Yeah.
And when you reflect on that and you're like, well, they are there to get better at football. They're not there to clean a first team player's boots.
I know. Yeah.
Which does make sense.
And they're all the things you're thinking when you're cleaning the boots. You're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So I do get it, but look, at the time it was what it was. We just had to deal with it.
Your progression at Watford was really fast tracked, really. You managed to get on the bench for the first team without even going out on loan, gaining any experience, really.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I think I was probably third choice at 16 or something like that. And
it's incredible,
basically,
really.
I wasn't third choice. There wasn't a third choice.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
But you was the training goalkeeper
that
you trained with the first team a lot.
Yeah, trained with the first team, almost every day.
Yes.
Basically every day, actually.
Yeah.
So we had Scott Loach and Richard Lee were the two. Rich is obviously now my agent. But they were the two, and I think Rich or Scott, I think it was Rich, must have got injured and then got called up to go, might have been West Brom away or Middlesbrough away, something like that. It was the first time on the bench, and yeah, obviously I didn't get on, but it was unbelievable just to be in the first team changing room. Yeah, and travelling up, but that's what Watford was at the time. There just wasn't a lot of options, and that obviously was a big advantage for me.
Yeah.
Because I look now throughout the clubs, and although maybe the coaching and the care they're getting is a lot better, every club's got like 3 or 4 under-21s goalkeepers, 3 or 4 first-team keepers, and I'm thinking, it's a longer road to get through. You have to find a loan.
Difficult.
It's a lot more crowded now, whereas maybe obviously, like I just said, it helped being at a club where there weren't tons of, like, wasn't a big squad, but still, even if you went to the other teams at the time, I don't think they would have had like 7, 8 goalkeepers. No. You know what I mean? So you're always sort of 1 or 2 injuries away from being really involved or getting a chance.
Yep.
So that was one of the benefits of that. And then, like you said, I had to go on loan and get some experience as well.
Yeah. Someone said it to me recently, but obviously it's the 72 football teams in the Football League and then the Premier League. So you've got 92 teams.
Yep.
There's 600 professional goalkeepers in that range. That's not including the National League.
Yeah.
So how that can fit into 92, 600.
That's crazy.
So, like, again, being at a club like Watford at that time, it's an incredible opportunity to get that bit closer at a younger age.
Yeah. You don't think of the numbers like that, obviously. But obviously a lot of that number would probably be young goalkeepers, would it?
Of course it would be.
Yeah. Which I was obviously young at the time. 16.
But even now you're playing for Watford in the first team again. So you're one of 92 out of 600. So even though like our odds and potential of actually playing games, so I always use me for a reference here, but I've played 400 odd games. I've been on the bench 450 times.
Yeah, wow.
So like you put that over a 20-year career and you think, I could have played over 850 games.
Yeah.
It's just not realistic for going 600 to 92.
Yeah. But you've played a lot of games, so 400, you've kind of built up that trust from a first-team manager type thing. But when you're younger, it's just like to get that opportunity to even play one game.
Yeah.
It's such a risk, like especially with like managers get sacked after 2 minutes now. I kind of get it. Like,
it's a results-based
has he played
business.
before? No, I'm not sure. I'm putting him in.
Yeah.
He could be brilliant in training, and it takes a strong manager to really, really trust the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But honestly, as part of the job, there's literally only one goalkeeper can play.
Exactly.
There's only 92 spots in the league, so it is difficult.
Yeah. Right. Let's go on to some of your loans then, where you did go out and get some like first team experience. I say, even though you've been involved in that.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's all part of the journey to get you back to where you are now, isn't it? So that's what I love reflecting on that. So you was Brackley twice.
Yes, Evo Stick Premier League, I think. I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the first time you realised the importance of winning and losing?
Honestly, no.
No.
Honestly, no.
Still
I know that's what everyone say. Oh, you need to go out and play like men's football. You know, and people are playing for this, that, and the other. But I saw it as part of my development. And honestly, like I did well there. It wasn't easy. I think first game I played, I made a mistake. Like came for a cross and didn't quite get there or something like that. But then after that, a lot of it was about crosses. Yeah. Really, like even the young goalies, you can save shots.
But you're not exposed to crossing in training or in youth team games. You're
especially
not really
like corners and stuff, like under pressure. But now they were literally hanging the ball up like it was in the air for 10 minutes, and you're having to come through like 4 or 5 bodies, and you end up quite enjoying it. And I don't know, just being in that sort of environment, you come back and you realise what a like privileged environment it was at Watford, even though it doesn't seem it when you're in it. When you come out, then you come back, you're like, this is unbomelievable. Like the pitches,
comfort blanket back on.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just it gave me like a new level of confidence coming back to Watford after we're just talking about Brackley. But that was.
I think that's the big importance of going out on loan is how you feel when you come back and how you get treated when you come back, because obviously people have that bit more of a trust in you. You've gained that bit of respect because you've gone out and done it and won some games, and you've learned a lot of different tools that you're going to need to take you further in your career.
You almost feel like more sure of yourself, don't you? When you come back in, you're like, you've achieved something.
Yeah. You've also learned physically what you need to develop on. Mm-hmm. So obviously Brackley would have been a massive learning curve. Forest Green?
Forest Green, short stint.
Yep.
So at the time, they didn't have that rule where you can only play for
Two clubs a year.
2 clubs a year. So there was a season, I think I was 17, where I went to Brackley. It was the second Brackley stint.
Yep.
I came back. Then I went to Forest Green. They were in the conference. Came back. Then I went to Dagenham in League Two.
Yep.
Came back. And I wasn't coming back because I was doing badly or anything. I was going there for emergency loans, kind of thing. So I was only going there for
get fit.
Exactly. So I'd go there for a month, knowing it. I'm just there for a month.
Yeah.
And I got to play like how many games? 6, 7 games, and then I come back and I'd be back in Watford. It was an unbelievable development year for me. And then, went to Dagenham in League Two, came back, and then I finished the year at Bury. So like and I also made my debut for Watford.
In the
so
same
in one
season,
year, I'd done Brackley, Conference, League Two, League One, Championship came on, and then FA Cup as well for Watford. And it was like, it couldn't have been any better from like a development sort of point of view. But one thing I would say is that I never played a full season.
Yeah.
It would still be better to go, even if it was in the conference or whatever,
And play
40 games. That would have been a lot better. So as much as it was like, oh, brilliant, like I've just played in the conference, where next? Like League Two, League One, blah, blah, blah. And, you didn't have to sustain it for that long a period. I knew I was going in there for a month, and then I was going back to Watford, like you said, comfort blanket, safety. And everyone's saying, oh, Bondi did great and here, there, wherever. But it was only 5, 6, 7 games or whatever. Yeah. So as much as they were great experiences, I would still say, even when I speak to younger goalies now, like if there is a month where you can go somewhere and you're not playing at the moment, then go do it.
Yep.
But if you can go somewhere for half a year or a year,
it's more
that's
important.
Definitely more important.
Yeah. Because you'll get a more of a realistic place of where you are in your career.
Yeah.
Where like you could play one game as a one-off in the championship and get man of the match, and you think, I'm easily a championship keeper.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you put that over 40 games, you're not going to play like that every game.
Yeah, exactly right. And you have to deal with setbacks, ups and downs, maybe getting dropped, maybe an injury. You've got to stay fit. There's so many things comes with playing a full season.
Yeah.
That you don't have to deal with if you're playing 6, 7 games. Yeah.
Each time you went back to Watford as well, I know obviously that was a very fast-track season, but like Watford was changing, weren't it?
I don't remember. Sean Dyche was manager.
Yeah.
So Sean Dyche's manager, they were doing really well.
Yeah.
I was training really well with the first team, and Scott Loach got sent off against Portsmouth away, so I had to come on. That was my first championship game, whatever. But then it just so happened that the next game was FA Cup, which I was probably going to play anyway.
Yep.
So I ended up not getting a championship game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I then played the game I was going to play anyway against Bradford. But and that was the first time where I started at Vicarage Road, sort of in front of, and that was almost more pressure. I almost felt more pressure,
of course,
as a young keeper playing at home. Than I did away at Portsmouth. It was weird
because you don't want to let your own fans down. And they see you week in, week out. Where away from home, 400 or 500 fans might only see you.
Yeah, exactly right. And also when you're away, at least as a young goalie, like the Portsmouth fans or whoever it is, they're not really looking at you. They don't care about what's going on with you. They care about what's going on with their team. So, it's different,
And then obviously working with some of the goalkeepers that you worked with at Watford, obviously I want to talk about a little bit about Almunia, obviously in the later stages. What did you think of him?
Loved him. Brilliant. Amazing goalkeeper. I've got to mention also Alec Chamberlain was... So Alec Chamberlain was my goalie coach throughout that whole process of loans. He was a big person in helping me get those loans. And he was steering my career path, and he was like a very, very important person for me, especially in my younger years. But Almunia came in. So he was like the first goalkeeper signed by the Pozzos. So the Pozzos bought the club 2012, I think.
Because Rich would have left at this point, obviously, and went to Brentford.
Yeah.
And Loachy had his England call up the year before?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Not sure. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But Loachy left as well.
Yes.
So at the time, it was just me.
Yeah.
I think. And Jack Bonham was also...
Jack Bonham as well, I remember,
I can't remember at what stage he was at. He's a year below me, so he must have been in around the first team.
Yeah.
And then they brought Almunia in, and he was obviously coming in to be number one. And he was brilliant, honestly. Like you said, in almost every aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And I think what surprised me was like his work ethic, how hard he wanted to train, how explosive he was at 36, 37.
Yeah.
That shocked me. I thought he was going to be sort of like a bit trying to take it easy or chilled and
Still went at it, didn't he?
went at it. Like there was just no other. There was no other.
I
gear.
honestly think he's the best goalie I've ever seen in training.
Really,
obviously, like at Arsenal, him and Jens had that weird relationship.
Yeah.
And I was there at that time, and it was strange. But in training, Manu had everything.
Mm-hmm.
He could kick it, he could jump over the crossbar. Like it just looked like he was just.
Again on crosses, he was. That shocked me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it was just stereotype. You expect like maybe like English goalies to be really good on crosses, or could they see it more? But like Manu came in and was just taking.
What about when he punched across? It went.
It was
miles.
mild. It was the best punch I've ever seen. Yeah.
And he was like left hand, right hand. And, you know, like normally that's a skill to punch with your left hand.
I'm never trying to punch single handed with my left hand at that point.
It's always like a double handed punch at that stage, aren't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just remember obviously his big night gloves, his vapors with the 2 fingers.
Yeah. He still wore them the whole way through. Yeah. No, he was brilliant. He was good with me. And I ended up playing still a few games that year because like he was 36, 37. He did pick up a few injuries. So sort of my development at that time, it didn't stop when he came in. If anything, it kind of accelerated. I was learning from him. I was playing all the cup games, and I played close to 10, probably 8 to 10. Might be exaggerating that, maybe 6 to 8 championship games. Yeah, and we nearly got promoted as well. So Zola was manager. It was that year of Deeney and all that.
Yes.
But that was a crazy season. That's one that definitely.
Was you there for his penalty save?
Yeah, I was on the bench.
That's unreal, man.
Yeah, I was running down the touchline.
Did you tear off?
Yeah, straight down. Yeah, into the fans. Yeah. No,
what a moment.
Yeah. No, that was unbelievable because you just think the season's done.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a penalty either. No, I thought it was at the time.
Yeah,
I actually thought he's done him there.
Yeah,
but that was everyone remembers it, even people not connected.
Yeah,
with Watford,
of course, it's just one of those moments in football. It's like the Aguero goal where everyone shouts Aguero against QPR.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Literally like that.
You can watch that and you know exactly the commentary.
Yeah. But the thing missing was obviously just getting promoted at the end of it. Yeah. Just missed out.
Yeah. I want to talk about your final game for Watford in your first spell. You end up suffering a horrible injury.
Yes. That wasn't my final.
Was it not?
That was the last game of that season.
Of that season it was then, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, that's right. So the last game of that season, so before the Almunia penalty thing. So basically it was last game of the league season.
Yeah.
We had Leeds at home and Hull were at home to Cardiff, and basically we had to better their result. And so anyway, it was a big day. We felt like Cardiff had a chance of getting a result at Hull, so we kind of felt like this could be our day. Yeah. And everyone was very nervous, including myself. Obviously, Almunia was going to play. But then in the last kick of the warm-up or whatever, he started feeling his hamstring. And I was thinking...
It's a big game.
Yeah, like, out of all the games to play, don't know if I'll... Because also I hadn't properly warmed... Like, the second choice didn't do the full warm-up. And he'd done it right at the end of the warm-up. And we were both going inside.
No crosshair, no kicking.
I did like a quick few volleys, do you know what I mean? And then went back inside. And they still hadn't decided whether he was going to play or not. And like everyone was getting into the tunnel. So I've had to get kit on just in case anyway. And I still thought he's going to play. And then last minute, the goalie coach just come in, Alec Chamberlain's just come in and said, "You're in." So I was like, right, okay. So suddenly I'm in. And anyway, first 20, it was fine.
Wait, you're skipping that rushed feeling of getting ready under pressure when you...
Yeah.
There is like this, you get 2 minutes, it feels like you have about 10 seconds.
Yeah. And it's just a blur though, isn't it?
You can't find the tapes that you need for your socks, and you're like, I've forgot my shin, everything just becomes a mess.
It was a mess. Just on that day of all days, like just didn't need to be doing that, man. But so about 20, I mean, the game was going fine, and then there was like a ball over the top, came for it, and there was a collision, just got knocked clean out. Face planted into the floor. 3
players all wrapped up, weren't they?
Yeah. So it got basically our player got pushed into me, got caught with an elbow. Yeah. So then Jack had to come on.
Yes.
And I mean, he had not played that season yet, and that was again, imagine that you've not made your debut yet, and then you have to come
in that.
But we ended up losing to Leeds, and Hull went up, and then we went into the playoffs, and then we did the whole Deeney thing. Yeah. Crazy season.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Forged Irish Stout for being part of this podcast. Listen to that beauty. An unbelievably smooth, creamy stout by Conor McGregor, the UFC legend. Not here to take part, but here to take over. Forged Irish Stout is on a mission to become the biggest Irish stout. Conor McGregor has taken over the whiskey game. Now he's about to take over the stout game. Me and my guests will be enjoying a few cans in the next few episodes. If you fancy checking it out too, make sure you hit the description below and find out where you can get Forged Irish Stout. Let's get back to the podcast. Obviously, leaving Watford must have been a tough decision. And also, just because you've spent the longevity and you've come through there and you've played for the first team, and it's one of those things that you develop that much with a club that you just think, oh, this shouldn't end. But sometimes it feels the right time to move on, pastures new and all that.
Yeah. Obviously, at the time when we had just gone up and Gomez had come in at that point. So Gomez was...
What a goalie as well.
Amazing. Again, we'd pulled 2 goalies out that were unbelievable, Almunia and Gomez. And there'd been another 2 seasons had gone by after the Almunia one. We got promoted at the end of the second one. But again, I was sort of... I was never allowed to go out on loan because I was always needed, because both goalies, Gomez and Almunia, were aging.
Yeah.
So they were like 35, 36, 37. So I kind of got denied going out and getting experience. But obviously I was getting some championship games at the top end of the league, going for promotion, all this. So from that point of view, it was good experience. But also I was with England sort of youth team, under 21s.
Yep.
So my profile was starting to grow a little bit. But then we got promoted, and then I had the opportunity to go to Reading as basically as number one, or, challenging as seriously as a number one. And I think at the time I thought, I was ready. But I think looking back, I don't think I was ready. And I think I put that down to not having played that full season that we talked about. So again, it was like I had a good experience, played in some big games, played for a big club, obviously got promoted, was involved with England and stuff, but I hadn't played that full season. And I think I learned a lot of I learned a lot of stuff obviously in that season. It was really difficult. And I maybe should have stayed at Watford, but then I wouldn't have learned what I learned at Reading.
So if you did stay at Watford, do you reckon you would have got a loan move, or do you reckon you'd have just carried on doing that third role?
Yeah, I had an option. I don't know how well this would have gone either, but it was Steve Evans at Rotherham at the time.
Wow,
Yeah. And again, young goal. I was 21. So when I went to Reading, I was 21. And even, going to Rotherham, I think any 21-year-old going to play every week in the championships, obviously, it's a big ask. It's a difficult thing to do. But obviously, if things don't go well and you go on loan, you just go back to Watford.
You've got the comfort.
Exactly. So maybe. But Watford from that point on obviously went and established themselves as like a serious Premier League club.
Yeah, they did,
And then had to sort of refine my way, go back on loan to Peterborough, where I did play that full season.
Yeah.
And that was really important for me. And Grant McCann, I really enjoyed my time with him there. And I was definitely grateful for him to give me that opportunity to play that full season, really.
Yeah, Peterborough is one of those clubs, obviously League One at the time, that they always tried to outscore teams, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like that, because they're trying to sell the strikers.
That's it, yeah. So I've throughout the years spent most of my career playing League One, and Peterborough you'd always go to Peterborough and go, I hope we're on the right side of a 4-3.
Yeah.
And it was never nice, because they always would just keep going.
Yeah, it was like that when I was there, yeah. And
it's not great comfort for a goalkeeper where everyone's gone and you're like...
I was making lots of saves, but I was conceding lots of goals. So it was exactly what you just described. But we talked about it before the start of the season. And the owner, Dara, who again also got a thank for bringing me in as well, he was part of that sort of pre-season like strategy meeting kind of thing, and how
really
why
that
we play the
involved,
way we do. Yeah. And I enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of, just because I was told from minute one, this is how we're going to play. We're going to be
Makes it a lot
aggressive. We're
easier.
going to try and score goals. It's like, okay, fine, is what it is, and you've got to buy into it. And we honestly didn't have. We had a brilliant start, and then we ended up. I think we just missed out on playoffs, but Jack Marriott got about 105 goals.
Talk to me about Jack Marriott a little bit. He just whacks the ball. So hard, left and right foot. Obviously, he's with me now.
Yeah.
And every shot, he's head down, whack it. I thought he broke my shin the other day from just hitting it so hard at my...
I know. It's annoying for us, obviously. You've got to be on the end of it. But getting him into a game, you fancy him, don't you?
Yeah, he's so reactive. He's fast. And he plays off the shoulder a bit, and he works hard, to be fair. But when he shoots, if only every now and then he could get his head up and just caress the ball, but he wants
training
to
at least
whack it.
Yeah. But it works for him. He scores a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And he's doing brilliantly now.
Yeah,
Again,
he is. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, he had a brilliant season that season. At Peterborough. Yeah.
And then off the back of that, you moved to West Brom.
Yes.
And obviously, you go in there to be a backup almost to Sam Johnston. You know that your chances are going to be limited with obviously Sam being the goalkeeper that he is. But like we were saying before, it's about understanding your role and having that as an objective that, no, I'm here to do that as a job.
Yeah. No, I think from a difficult couple of years at Reading, obviously the loan at Peterborough just gave me a new lease of life where I just got to play and enjoy it again. And then goalie coach at West Brom was Neil Cutler. And he really made a big impact on me as a goalkeeper, to be honest. He just flipped my mentality to being a lot more positive and sort of front foot. And I used to be like, just don't make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? One of those where you go into a game, it's like, you're not necessarily that you're nervous, but if you finish the game and you've not made a mistake and you've done everything you've done well, then you're happy. Whereas he flipped it to be like, you want to proactively like affect the game. Do you know what I mean? As much as you can as a goalie.
Yeah.
And that really helped me. To be honest, it worked for me a lot.
Yeah. Cuts was one of the first goalie coaches to coach that way. Obviously, growing up, I'm obviously quite a bit older than you, but we was always taught to keep a quiet goal, which was obviously like the Dave Seaman way, as like, you shouldn't ever talk about the goalkeeper after a game. Yeah. If you do talk about a goalkeeper, it's normally a negative, but Cuts was one of the first, I think, was very proactive and wanting his goalkeepers to be expressive and have personality.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he wanted you to have a presence, like an aura almost in the goal. And yeah, I responded well to it. Like I enjoyed thinking of goalkeeping like that. Yeah. And I was only there for 6 months with him because he ended up going to Villa. Yeah. So, I was obviously, he was the one that brought me in. So I was disappointed that he moved on so quick. But I honestly loved my time at West Brom. I loved it.
There's a lot of pressure on that club as well.
There is, yeah. Obviously, the squad we came down with, or the squad they came down with that I joined, was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a good squad for the Premier League. Yeah. They should never have really got relegated with that squad. And yeah, there was pressure on us to go up, but I don't know. I loved it. Yeah. Something about the club. It's weird, isn't it? Sometimes you just go into clubs and it just feels like
it's meant to be.
Yeah, whatever it was.
What was Sam like to work with?
Brilliant. Yeah, loved Sam. I was with him in the England setup a little bit, so we knew each other from before. We played against each other a few times, and just easy to get along with. Yeah. Very good goalie. Sets a good example for the young boys.
Great all-rounder as a goalie.
Yeah. I probably have never seen anyone have the basics down as well as he does. So clean. Yeah. So balanced. And yeah, he obviously did really well. We ended up getting promoted with Bilic as well as the manager.
But that was a great club to get promoted with, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was during COVID. Oh, it was during COVID. Yeah. No one in the stadium. Yeah. We sort of fell over the line in the end. Yeah. Brentford were like nipping at our heels a little bit. But and Sam had a brilliant season in the Prem. Yeah. So, but halfway through that Prem season, that's when I left to
the best move in the world.
Yeah.
If Colesberg did transfers, so obviously, you moved to LA Galaxy. Yeah. How did this come about? Obviously, Rich is big influence, but what's going on behind the scenes before this happens?
It's honestly something I wish that explored earlier in my career, and it was sort of this unknown thing. Like basically, my mum's American, so I had this American passport, but I felt like no one knew about it. So it was like something I'd bring up every now and then. It's like, oh, I've got this sort of American passport. Like, does that mean that I can sort of go and play in America? Never really got much back from anyone. I don't think anyone checked or told anyone. And when I then signed with Rich as my agent, he actually went and asked the question.
Yeah.
And there was interest. There was interest, and obviously one of the clubs was Galaxy. And immediately you're like, I was getting very excited, but that was around the summertime.
Yeah.
And their window that they would do anything really, it doesn't come till December, January.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, this is unbelievable. It sounds like it could happen, but it's got to make it all the way to December, January, and nothing's got to change. Like they can't change their minds.
Yeah. I've got
you know how quickly it changes.
And,
I've got to stay fit. The person that wants me's still got to be there, and all this stuff.
West Brom have got to let me go.
Yeah, there's
loads
so
of
much
variables
to it. Yeah, but obviously in the back of my mind every day, I'm thinking that could happen. That could happen. Yeah. And yeah, it was around, I don't know when it was, November, December, something like that. It seemed like it was still possible.
Yeah.
And then West Brom were really good about it. They knew it was obviously a good opportunity because it is a big club. Like everyone's heard of LA Galaxy.
Obviously, the David Beckham effect is huge.
Exactly. And they were giving me the opportunity to play games. And the MLS is, I know it's a classic. Everyone says, oh, it's getting better, but it really is.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of players now getting bought. First of all, for big money going into the MLS. For example, Galaxy spent 15 to 20 million on 2 wingers or something like that last off-season. But there's a lot of players leaving the league to go to Europe for big money as well. So the standard's getting quite good, and the opportunity to go there, obviously there's the lifestyle thing as well, and play what I did in the end, which was basically 3 full seasons. And you have got to carry it a little bit because they're big on media there. There's always this constant interviews before and after games.
It's kind of the American way of sports, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
They have a lot more interactions personally with players.
Yeah,
It's
outside
weird, locker rooms and
it's their Premier League.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Within that sport, like there. I say they as if it's they and me. Like I'm still obviously could easily go back there one day, but it feels like a big event. You know, every game. I would say there's a lot more done around each game than there is in the Championship, for example.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, in the Premier League, you do feel like that big event around every game.
Yeah, of course.
But in the Championship, you don't.
No.
As much. And yeah, so going there, there's a lot of sort of like media responsibilities and things like that. So yeah, I learned a lot, honestly, being out there and just even uprooting, just moving across. I know LA sounds,
and
it is amazing. It is, but just having to settle and find some sort of routine that works.
Yep.
In a completely different environment, and there's so much that's different there. It's mad. Like even my first week of training, the ball flies different. The ball is different. The ball flies different. The pitch is completely dry.
But that's because of the atmosphere. It's obviously warmer.
Yeah.
And the ball will compress more.
Yeah.
So it wobbles more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're playing in the summer as well. So suddenly you're having to play in like 42 degrees in Dallas.
And adjust the dehydration levels and stuff like that.
And obviously goalkeeper's not as much of an impact. But sometimes it can. Like if you're sapped for energy and you've got to save a shot that's going at 60, 70 miles an hour, whatever, that can be quite challenging when you're knackered.
It's also the concentration aspect when you're fatiguing and dehydration. Like mentally, a goalkeeper's position is
it's all psychological.
So then the concentration aspect of it's 42 degrees heat and I've still got to concentrate for 90 minutes. Or I should be hydrating, but you don't ever really drink while you play.
Not really, as much as you can, but it's difficult. But just flying to every game, all these kinds of things. It was completely different.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Honestly, I did. I loved it. Made a lot of good friends out there. And it's somewhere where I have a connection with now for the rest of my life, for sure.
One day, would you love to go back to the MLS then?
It honestly just depends. It depends on the club. Depends on the situation that I'm in at the moment. I'm really happy with where I'm at. Obviously, just got some good obviously good championship games over the last month.
Yep.
And I've really enjoyed being back here. The competitiveness and the intensity, it's difficult to rival that anywhere in the world, to be honest. The atmosphere.
But finishing training and going to the beach ain't too bad.
No, that's all right, yeah.
Talk to me about LA traffic, by the way. We've complained in London.
It's awful.
It's the worst I've ever seen.
There's about 17 lanes on the motorway, do you know what I mean?
It's mental.
So I don't know how there's still traffic, but the problem with LA is you need a car. There's no public transport, and everyone has a car.
Yeah.
So then if
there's
you want to
no
get
buses,
anywhere,
there's
nothing. So that's why there are so many cars on the road.
Yeah.
You just get used to it after a while. It's just like, it's going to take me. It took me about 55 minutes to get to and from training every day.
Did it? Yeah. And that's just crawling, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Tom Williams, my friend, obviously.
Yeah.
That's how we introduced got introduced.
Yeah.
When we played each other.
So he's the fitness coach at Galaxy.
Yeah, great guy. He is fully bought into that lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't look like he's leaving anytime soon.
Oh, he does not. You wouldn't believe he's a Welsh kid from near Cardiff. And, yeah, a great guy.
And I was with, actually, the analyst was from West Brom.
Oh, no
and
way.
he left West Brom probably 6 to 9 months before. So it was someone else I knew going out there.
That's nice to have that, obviously, a few familiar voices and people to go out there and help you settle in, especially for the first few weeks for family as well, and when you're visiting and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like the first few months when I moved out there, the pre-season didn't start for another 2-3 months, so I was sort of there for 2-3 months. And it was kind of during COVID a little bit. And what really helped was centre half from Blackburn, Derek Williams, also moved out there same time.
Yeah.
So we were kind of on the same journey, do you know what I mean? Making
nice.
the same transition, which really helped. But yeah, it was just, like I said earlier, it's trying to find, right, where do I live? What do I do with my days? Like, where, where's training?
But typically, like over here, you finish training at 2-3 o'clock and you head home, and then you have a normal evening. But over there, there's so much more going on, and the weather's better.
I know. The thing is, out there as well, even the home games on a Saturday it's in the evening. It's so warm. So you're there, you've got all day, but like everyone around you is going to some sort of like
event
day,
or
some
sort of
some sort of party. It's not a party, do you know what I mean? But like some event, literally, like you say. And it's like, oh, do you want to come? It's like, I could easily go, but I have to say no. I've got a game, and it's like, what would I be? I'd be only sat there. I'm not going to drink or anything. I'm just going to have a water.
Yeah.
But it's just, it just messes with your mind a little bit. Like,
of course.
There's so much going on. You just have to sort of be really boring and just sit there and wait for the game.
Yeah. Just become addicted to the PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
You think I'm in LA, but I'm playing bloody GTA that's based here as well. Obviously, a lot's made up of the standard of the MLS. Obviously, with Inter Miami, the way that they are right now, the standard of the MLS over the last few years especially is really kicking on. And a lot of people go on about the fitness levels of the American players because they are athletic, aren't they? Mm-hmm. But it's because of the generic sports that they play, the American footballs and the basketballs. They're runners, aren't they? They're all Olympic track athletes.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's very, very quick. I mean, physically, it didn't seem like anyone needed to do gym or like any sort of extras or whatever. It was just like people could just stroll out on the pitch and they were just unbelievable physically. It was kind of like that. But I can't remember. I was going to make a point about. I can't remember. I can't remember where I was going with that.
But so I was going to say from that. Obviously, they're physically unbelievable athletes, and then technically is probably where they're still.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, yeah. So it was during my first pre-season, I was shocked at the level of the youth team, like the under-23s equivalent, the second team. They were unbelievable. It was really, really good. Like. Even technically, the intensity, everything. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was. Just the standard, basically.
Because a lot of LA Galaxies, especially in that area, San Diego and the other LA team, there's a lot of Mexican influence, isn't there? Because of the area and how close they are to the border.
There, it's crazy.
And like we were saying, the talent we played obviously against you in a pre-season or your second team. Yeah. And some of the players technically were unbelievable. And you find out they're all the South American players.
Yes.
And then you mix them in with a good combination of the track athletes.
Yeah.
And you have a hell of a team.
It's not bad, honestly. Because I remember when I watched the game, when you guys played against them, and I was really keen to see how how they were going to match up.
Yep.
And you ended up winning the game
In the second half,
in
yeah.
the second
First
half. But the first half, it was all them, wasn't it?
It was all them, yeah.
And they're massive. Like tactically, they know the game inside out.
Yeah.
They can all beat a player.
Yeah.
They can all like receive the ball and stuff. What obviously we have here is the intensity, doing the basics, defending right. All those things kind of shone through in the end.
A bit of know-how and a bit of long ball football, winning second balls.
Exactly.
I think that's how we end up winning.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, it is completely different, like emphasis what people value almost.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like a highly technical, tactical game.
Yeah.
Compared to here, is obviously it is more about basics, winning the duels and second balls, things like that.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals of football for us, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of goalkeeper geekiness. What gloves are you wearing?
The one glove.
You are in the one glove, yeah. Miles looking after you well?
He is, yeah. He, we were saying earlier, he just gives you that freedom to do whatever you want, basically, with the glove, which is exactly what I've wanted.
All the pros that I've been speaking to, obviously, and I've spoke to Miles myself, and he kind of made me a couple of pairs, and I've been trying them out. And how customizable he's making them, and
brilliant.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not many brands out there now have the interaction with their players and saying, "What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want from a glove?" And obviously, that's what we was talking about before. That like, if you want the latex to be a centimetre longer, if you want your strap to be the other way around, or if you want your grip to be, some people like it right up high. So all of these sort of things, they're trying to make that like.
And the thing is, it looks good as well. And I don't know if you care about that, but I think a lot of goalkeepers do. Like they want a glove that actually looks good.
Looks good, yeah. I always say look the part, play the part. Yeah,
exactly. Obviously, it has to work. Yeah. Like, it has to feel good and stuff. But I think they've got the branding, designs and stuff spot on.
And obviously, with the success with David Reyes having in them, they're getting the publicity. But even what they're doing in the social media market, and they've got a whole load of influencers now, and they're looking at that as a bigger spectrum of finding new players to wear their gloves and buy their product.
Yeah, no, they're doing brilliantly, honestly.
You seen their new advert?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Little Ollie Russell that turns into an anime star. I thought it was unbelievable.
It's
clever that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Have you got any weird superstitions and habits with your gloves?
No, I don't. Not with my gloves. I sort of
peel off the plastic and put them on.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? With the one glove, I feel like I don't have to wash it before. I can almost just wear it straight away, and it actually is all right.
Yeah.
Because I wore Adidas. You have to wear Adidas in America.
Is that a league thing? You have to wear their boots and gloves? Or
unless you have signed a contract with someone else. But because I'd started wearing Adidas, and I enjoyed wearing Adidas, and they looked good, and everything, I felt good. So I just carried on wearing them. But those with the Adidas ball, honestly, it was like a bar of soap for like 2 or 3 wears.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you needed to really wash them.
Break your gloves in,
quite a lot. And every MLS game, it was a brand new ball.
What gloves was you wearing? The 0.1s or the 0.2s? Is it 2.1?
Honestly, both.
Yeah.
It changed it.
Because the latex is so delicate as well.
I know. Yeah, the ones are really delicate, aren't they?
I'm saying about, the ones are really delicate.
Sorry, not the one glove.
No,
the 0.1
of
the Adidas
gloves. Yeah, they're very delicate and like they
come apart.
Yeah,
I remember that. But yeah, I just remember I used to tell our kit man, basically, I know everyone else plays with a new ball. We are not playing with a new ball.
Oh, right, yeah.
If we ever put a new ball out on the pitch, I was fuming.
You notice, obviously in pre-season, it's exactly the same for us. And I when I play in America now for pre-season and games, I take a really old pair of gloves with me.
Yes.
In case the new ball comes out.
Yeah.
Might have to put on the old gloves that have got deterioration.
Yeah.
They're weathered.
It has to be like that. Yeah. Otherwise, it literally is a bar of soap. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But,
the Adidas balls as well, by the way.
Yeah, you like them or not?
No, they're like kicking an airflow. They're very light,
plasticky,
but then,
aren't they?
When you try and play long ball football with them, they stop after 30 or 40 yards and die a death, don't they? And like
they don't keep going.
They don't keep going, but they travel really fast over the first 20 yards.
Yeah.
You thought that as well.
Well, it felt like it. Yeah.
So when people are shooting,
week there,
like you think, bloody hell, they travel really fast and they move a lot. But then when you try and take a goal kick over 60, 70 yards, you're like,
it's not going
as far as it like a Mitre or
we had
a
massive
do.
pitch at Galaxy as well.
Yeah.
That might not have helped, but they were. Do you know what? I didn't mind the Adidas ball, but there were 3 different versions of it when I was there, so it changed every year. Completely changed.
Yeah.
But like, the main thing was when it was new, it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, and it had that little dew in the air as well.
Yeah.
And it got all those
And every
wet
game's a
the
night
pitch.
game,
Yeah.
so it did stay wet.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah. It's mate, you can't complain about being in America. Right, finally, I just want to do a little bit about your international youth career. Obviously, played for Wales international youths and then changed over. So, yeah, you made international appearances for Wales under 17. It also says you scored a goal. Please tell us.
I did. I scored a goal, under 17. We were trying to qualify for the Euros for 17s. We were playing against Russia. We were 1-0 down. So basically went up for a corner. Johnny Williams took the corner.
Yeah.
Remember him from
Yeah, of course
Palace,
I do, yeah.
It seemed like you didn't. But
No, of course I do. I've played against Charlton. Yeah, Swindon.
great player.
Great player.
Very nice guy. But anyway, he hung this ball up. It was a terrible corner, really. And the keeper's come for it, but like dropped it. And there's a bit of a scramble and it's landed to me and I just basically put it away.
Yeah.
And I was buzzing.
Buzzing, yeah. Did you
really
celebrate?
buzzing. Yeah, it went off like that.
Did you? Yeah, sure.
I did,
Yeah. Full arm up. Even the bit before, like going up for a corner, knowing you need a goal, right? Are you constantly like making eyes with the manager?
No.
Or did you
On
just
that
go?
one, do you know what? I'd had a bit of a weldy that game, so I was just flowing.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like,
going.
Yeah, I wasn't even checking. I was just like, right, I'm going up, and just caught eyes with Johnny. He was taking the corner. I just basically didn't want him to hit the first man. So that's why I said just
Always
hang
the
it
way,
up.
Yeah.
I don't care if the keeper comes for it, he comes for it, and he catches it. Well done.
Yeah.
But just don't hit the first man. And he did. He hung it up, and there was a bit of a scramble, and
You just slotted it in.
Yeah. I was buzzing.
Buzzing, yeah.
We ended up winning the game actually, 2-1.
Yeah.
Because they had to
And
win.
qualified.
Yeah, we qualified. Yeah.
Absolute scenes then after the game, no?
Yeah. But do you know what? I say we qualified. We qualified for the next round.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You had to.
But
It was
still,
like two groups of
you
four.
put them through. You can say that, can't you?
Whatever. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
must
say I
have
can't
been.
remember, but I can. I
Yeah,
watch it all the time.
exactly. Yeah, scoring a goal is the dream.
No, it was good. Yeah.
And obviously, then you played. You progressed all the way through to under 19s levels and called up to under 21s at the age of 17. This is as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So
Brian Flynn called me in first team as well.
Flinney,
Yeah.
oh my God, story time with Flinney.
Yeah.
He comes in as an ambassador at Wrexham.
Oh no, yeah, I saw him actually in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my God, he always tells. He's like, I think he's the only person to ever score ahead of beat Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that story.
Yeah, he loves that one.
Yeah. Oh, he tells so many stories, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Has anyone actually fact checked them or?
And no, we've seen the goal. He
Really?
brought it on VHS. It was in black and white as well. Yeah, we've seen the goal. Yeah, we can actually clarify that actually did happen, Flinney.
Really? Yeah.
He's
He's tiny as well,
he's
isn't he?
tiny.
He scored a header.
Tiny. A little
crazy.
round the back post. And then obviously, I want to mention that you did change allegiances and you switched over to the English FA.
Yeah. So I'd been with the first team when Flinney was sort of interim manager.
Yeah.
For like an international, for just like it was like a November kind of international break.
Yeah.
2 games. But then after that, there was some managerial changes for the 21s, also for the first team. And basically England had been in touch to see if I was open to changing.
Switching, yeah.
And honestly, I was born in England, grew up supporting England, still do. My dad's big, Englishman.
Yep.
So, it kind of was something that I wanted to do. But I also hadn't been called into the 21s for the last
Camp or whatever it was.
camp. Yeah, whatever. And I was like, obviously I wasn't happy about not being called in.
Yeah.
I felt like I should have been. And
That kind of made your mind up for you
Yeah,
a
it kind
little
of made
bit.
my mind up. It just made it a lot easier. And then once I'd sort of made my decision, then after there was like some communication from the Wales side.
Yeah.
But I'd sort of made my decision then. And honestly, I was, as much as obviously it's really difficult to end up playing for England's seniors first team, I still wouldn't change my decision.
Okay.
I still really, really loved playing for the 21s.
Yeah.
Just the level and the standard and the players that I was playing with was just at a complete new level above.
So has the door closed on that? Because
I have no
obviously,
idea.
Yeah. So
But
is
I
it still
wouldn't
possible
go-
that you could play for America though?
Oh, I think we did talk about that, but because I'd changed already,
Okay.
I don't think you can change again.
Right. Okay. So someone
Yeah.
should really look into that, whether you can play for England, Wales, or
No,
America.
we did. I spoke with the US, like the older coach of the US, because when I first moved there,
would have been a
I
great.
think they would have looked to maybe try and call me in or whatever, but it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't know if it's changed, but I'd stick with sort of my decision now.
Yeah, fair.
And I just loved playing because I used to look at England, think it looks amazing. That is sort of the
level, the gold
pinnacle,
standard.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to be. So as much as
even if it's for a short spell, it's to pit yourself against the best players that are English.
I just loved it. I loved it. And Southgate was the manager, and just loved going away with him. Steve Holland was obviously the coach.
Yep.
Martin Thomas was the goalie coach. He was Welsh.
Who was the other goalkeepers at that age?
Jack Butland.
Yep.
And then it was myself.
Yep.
And then Sam as well.
Yeah.
Marcus Bettinelli.
Yes.
As well. So obviously standard of goalies really
Top
high
drawer,
as well.
Yeah.
Everything about it, just loved it. Yeah, just even from just going to St George's Park, going to these random countries and playing the qualifiers and stuff. Yeah, I loved it.
Top drawer. Right, finally, what does the Goalkeepers Union mean to you?
I think looking after each other, because like we said earlier on, that it is a sport within a sport, and it doesn't have to be where I know some goalkeeping groups, maybe there's some friction or people don't get on. I don't really understand. It doesn't have to be like that. It's not. It's the manager's decision about who plays or whatever. Leave it up to him. Like we can have a good, which we do at Watford. We have a really good group that like the camaraderie is good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about supporting each other really, because we've all been sort of a goalie for a manager who's a bit of a goalie hater, and do you know what I mean? Like,
Played for plenty of them, haven't we?
Yeah. They just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's just, I think we just annoy them, because if we have a great game, he's done his job. If we don't, it's the goalie's fault, and that's a classic, isn't it? So it's not fully fair, and we are outnumbered by 10 other outfield players and the coach and coaching staff, blah blah blah. But for me, it's about sticking together and supporting each other.
Yeah, nice. Good answer, mate. I've really enjoyed this episode, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Jonathon Bond.
Thank you.
Class, man. Can I say a huge thank you to our sponsors for being part of the show. This has been the Yours, Mine Away podcast with me, Mark Howard, and Jonathon Bond. Class.
What a save from Mark Howard.